The topic is the hospital, downtown Utica. It has been a heated topic, and there is a group out there, No Hospital Downtown, and it has some proponents along with them that are very credible. Rob is in Herkimer, wants to comment. Good morning, Rob. You've been waiting, so I take you first. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I thought it was something that Lynne Mishalanie mentioned about Bag Square and Varick, and how that street is a direct corridor between those two areas. And if they could maybe organize some kind, they used to have Utica Monday night, and they have Varick Street Thursday. If maybe they could choose a night where they could have events in both those areas, and the walk traffic back and forth there would help revitalize that area and might go forward to being a positive against the hospital to show that that neighborhood can really come back.
All right. Good point there, Rob. Thanks. What are your, you want to comment on that?
So another reason that I stay involved in this group, a gentleman named Joe Serini has a business down in the center of where they'd like to place this. He has two old canal buildings. You look at them from the outside, they're not that miraculous, but he actually started fixing the bricks before he closed on it. So people get passionate, whether they're a little nuts like Lynn in the beginning, or they're a little maybe better off with me with a little bit of a plan and some finances, but I've taken a long time. I don't disagree. But he's been down there since, I think, 2001. His son is getting ready to open up a pizza shop, and that place swarms when the comments are in town.
Right.
And so he's going to actually develop that building. We're actually talking of another project that I can't disclose right now, but there are people out there working on small-scale projects that are going to knit these two neighborhoods together, and I think it's going to be much better than a hospital. And I still go back to saying, let's have great health care. Why don't we do it at St. Luke's? They have 64 acres.
Right.
And a college right next door.
Manansky.
Two questions quickly. It's a follow-up on what you just said. What happens to the old buildings, St. E's and St. Luke's? Do you know what the proposal is?
Well, the proposal ideally would be to study and find tenants and repurpose them and turn them into things.
St. Luke's stays pretty much what it is today.
Well, St. Luke's would go away.
Or Faxton, I'm sorry. Faxton would stay.
Yeah, Faxton's not moving. Faxton's going to stay because they have cancer equipment that's too heavy to move. And
But St. Luke's is a huge, like I could see St. E's being housing of some time, apartments. But could you see that with St. Luke's?
Actually, I'm not professing to be an expert. I mean, some people said, Brett, come on, get in on this downtown thing. We could use your expertise. And I'm like, thank you, but I don't design hospitals. I'm not even an urban
that's why
planner.
I didn't mean to, I wasn't being disrespectful when I asked you.
No, that's okay. Everything's free game.
We don't know, here we are talking about this. We probably are really good when it comes to PR and to building neighborhoods. We each have our own little expertise.
Right, sure.
But when it comes to whether or not a hospial needs to be rebuilt,
it's
Bill, not our expertise.
It is, and that's absolutely true. But in talking to people about this over a good amount of time, you very often find that the people who are in the healthcare business, the majority of them do not think that going downtown is a good idea. And there are a lot of people who can't make a public statement because of affiliations with boards and government. So right now, I don't think we're getting the public's picture. And even with the upcoming opportunities to have stakeholders meet on certain occasions and talk about it, I really wish that we could, they felt that the newspaper wasn't a place to have dialogue. Well, my view is that lay people, including myself, who have not gotten the information that Brett has gotten, really need an opportunity to read about a lot more detail and to comment on it.
And I just want to say, I don't want to correct you, but in fairness, I do believe that it's tough to pass around generalities, like saying most people aren't for it, most people in the business, healthcare providers are not for it. Obviously, you guys would be hearing from people who are against it because just by the very nature of what it is that you're doing. There's no polling out there that right now that is legitimate that shows one way or the other how people really feel. Because I've talked to people on both sides.
Absolutely. But I mean, the people that I'm speaking of are people who are in the know.
I've spoken to those in the know that are for it, and those that are against it. So
that just backs up the whole issue of we need to have more detailed public dialogue.
On the point
Mineski.
of information, the hospital recently came out and said they were going to have some public meetings, some outreach. I know they said the first thing that they were going to try to get more information to was stakeholders. How do you feel they've done as far as getting information out? Have you seen any change in the past month or so? Where do you get your information from?
Yeah. So I'm talking to people. I'm scouring the internet. I'm meeting with people. Those people are getting phone calls. I'm getting an email. I got one this morning from someone who said, if this is going to be about healthcare, everyone that he's spoken to, nurses, doctors, says, if you're putting healthcare first, put it at St. Luke's. I can copy you. I'll forward the email to you.
Right.
And if you want to do commercial activity, then go downtown. But I don't think it's fair to bulldoze private businesses for a
And these
hospital.
are, and again, these are opinions. These and some people that might have be in the professional field of
Well, I've actually
medicine
been-
might have a personal interest in it, not going downtown.
As
Some
do the
people-
politicians.
As do the politicians. So, I hate to
Bill, if
keep
they're-
repeating in fairness,
Yeah.
but people talk to me every day, and that does not by any means. I talked to more people that said Hillary Clinton was going to be president of the United States, and look what happened. Let me read some comments that the people have here. Jim, why not the Psych Center? One topic, and they've said no to that.
Well, I wonder why.
Michael asks, what are they looking for? Is neighborhood business districts being developed in various parts of the city, something that has been lacking for a very long time? The truth is, there aren't very many quality buildings over there.
You would
How would
disagree
you-
with that, right?
Well, your store, you know that building?
Right.
Rock solid.
Clementi's over there.
But you're talking about
Utica
there are a
paint.
lot of buildings over there.
There's not. Well,
and-
there's 99 parcels.
All
Let's
right.
just say roughly there's 40 buildings, and let's say 3 of them are real crappy. But there's 40 businesses down there, and someone told me that I respected and thought he was an activist and someone who would look at things clearly. He's like, well, those businesses down there are kind of sketchy anyway.
Okay,
So the
well, that's
police
not-
station, the
that's
court's
not a good,
sketchy.
that's not a good comment
But
to
no,
make.
when you talk about
Right.
generalities and opinions, and then I showed him a picture of where the hospital would go, and he's like, yeah, I still don't see a problem. I'm like, if you came to me and said, you're bulldozing my house because you
Right.
need my land, I hope don't get offended because I have a
You know,
problem.
there are business owners down there that are
Yes.
loving the fact that
I
this
got
is
yelled
happening.
at. I got
because they're
yelled
not
at
going to
by
be
one of
able to.
them.
They're not going to be able to sell their property. They're going to
They-
get more on this deal than they would ever get because they wouldn't be able to sell it. A couple of other comments. No doubt the hospital has done a lousy PR job on this whole thing. And then somebody said there was Utica Monday night. There's Saranac on Thursday. How about Hospital Tuesday? I think they're being funny.
Well, we actually have hospital
And,
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
We do.
So we have 3 meetings a week
That's your meeting.
for
so
a year
that's
and a
hospital,
half. Yeah. So
there
it's
we
not
go.
that I'm just, I'm
I
looking
know.
for facts.
Here is Sue, 7360186. Sue, you're on the radio.
Good morning. I'm retired from working. It started at the Faxton campus. I went over to the St. Luke's campus, and there's such a need for an updating of these 2 facilities. And, okay, everybody says have it go to the St. Luke's campus. Everything's there. Where would the money come from to update St. Luke's Hospital to become a modern facility with the best quality, best
Right.
equipment and everything possible, where you could start downtown with a brand new facility, have everything there, and start out fresh and clean. And the stipulation, is my understanding, if the government gives us, the New York State gives us that money, they said it should be in a downtown area. And I for one think that some of these people, they're saying their dreams of seeing these things happening. I've been dreaming in this city for over 50 years.
Yeah.
And I've seen the good old days, and I've seen what is now.
Right.
And if this can revitalize the area, and you say, the bakery and all this stuff, you're going to have so many people coming into the city to see exactly the growth of the city. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people that don't want it downtown are people that don't live in the city and are still, quote unquote, don't want to come into the city.
Wow.
There's still that stigma there.
That is true. There is a There's a truth to that, Sue.
Businesses
Well, not with these two, though.
No, I would.
Business is flourishing.
Yeah.
I've seen businesses start up in the city, and within 6 months they're gone.
Yeah.
You see all these articles: come eat here, do this, do this. Fine, you say, oh, good, a new business. But how often is there traffic coming down there to do these businesses?
Yeah. New businesses, new restaurants, they will not revitalize a city. The only thing that revitalizes, in my opinion, a city is something like the Nano, where well-paying jobs come into a city, and they then can support those businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's face it, a hospital, which will be centrally located, generate more jobs that are good-paying jobs, and that's going to help build the city again. And you'd be surprised the people that work in healthcare, they do other jobs, they do invest in other possibilities. Right. You know what I'm saying? And for updating I've seen fixed in, I've seen new units put in, and then all of a sudden they close. And then this new ICU, new CCUs, beautiful facilities, brand new, put money into these facilities, then all of a sudden the floor closes and boom, we're moving over here, we're doing this. Where's that money going to come to modernize the hospital?
And right now, Sue, I appreciate the call. From the inside, this is somebody who's worked in the field. And, Sue, we appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
In this case, the governor's kind of made it clear this money's for a hospital is going downtown. That's how the legislation was written. I know we can debate that, but it seems like that's how the money is.
It said it should be in a population center of Oneida County.
Okay.
In the population center.
All right. Well, I'd love to read. I'd like to read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Tom
it's
is
on the website.
Tom is on right now. Good morning, Tom. Go ahead.
Hi. One of the things that we've skipped over here a little bit is the fact that the hospital should be motivated in its building by becoming an improved healing center for people. That's why you build a new hospital.
Right.
And I have asked in a journalistic fashion with no leading questions or anything else, 8 of my healthcare providers, nurses and doctors, whether they oppose or support the idea of a downtown hospital. And to the man, woman, or whoever it was that I was asking, they were solidly opposed to it and volunteered, nearly almost every one of them volunteered that it was not a healing atmosphere, that the healing atmosphere of the St. Luke's campus was far superior to anything that could be provided in a downtown.
All right. Again, we're all talking to people who tell us different things. Tom, I just want to squeeze in a few more quick calls, and then I'm going to have to wrap this up. And I want both Brett and Lynn to be able to have the final word here. Bill in Utica, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
A little wet day today, but in any event, I just thought I'd
it's going to be 50. I mean, we can't complain.
A few things in.
All right.
I know Brett Truett. I know Miss Mishalanie. This is Bill Truett. Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to say that I've been listening to the conversations that are taking place, and I've been born and raised here. So you can say I have something vested here. My children are here. They're working here. I'm still proud of this community. Every day I walk out my door, I see a lot of activity taking place, which energizes me. And a few words that Mr. Truett was speaking of, that about possibly running for office in the next few years for mayor. That's always been in the back of my mind as well, because I really want to see our city move forward. And I see progress every day. I want to be a part of it, Bill.
All right, where are you on the hospital? Where are you on it?
I'm opposed to it, regardless of what does go down there.
Got it. Okay.
That whole 300 block of Columbia Street, that whole block's got to come down unless we can find some miracle that'll revitalize those buildings, which I doubt because they're in such dilapidated repair.
So you almost sound like you're for the hospital coming downtown.
No, actually, I'm not. I am for businesses community-oriented
All right.
businesses
Okay.
come downtown.
Got it. All right, Tim. Actually, Bob in Westmoreland. Quickly, Bob, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
I say keep St. Luke's a school of nursing as St. E's is, because you got to have professional people.
All right.
You got to have the best training as possible, and try to keep these doctors in business, because they're all dropping out and moving away. You can have
we're not
the best
attracting
facilities,
yeah.
and they're all going to be going away.
We are not attracting, it seems, new people, new blood. We saw some controversy in the last year just about that. All right. Somebody asked this question, Brett and Lynn, where do you guys live? Where is your residence?
I live in South Utica right now,
right.
close to the uptown. And next year, for sure, I've been saying this for a while, I will live in Bag Square, except if they build a hospital, then I'll probably be on an island.
Okay.
Or in City Hall.
All right.
Mine's just the opposite. I was in Bag Square. Now I'm also in South Utica.
Okay, so South Utica. Nice area. I'll give you guys the final word here. Obviously, I know you say everybody's against it. I really believe that it's
I'm sure everyone's not against it, because the country's divided 50-50, right?
We are
and
divided.
that's why I was suspicious how all the legislatures can be quiet. The whole entire Common Council all voted for it.
Yeah.
Everyone's for it. So that raises a flag. How can the country is 50-50, so but we're all for it downtown?
But what if they've been given a presentation that they truly feel that this is the best thing for Utica? I mean,
they're probably
is it a wrong thing to have everyone saying we're all in agreement?
I got to
no,
get in on
I'm not
this.
saying it's not wrong. I'm just saying that it's
because to assume suspicion based on the fact that they're all for it.
No.
Well,
All I'm saying is, if you're saying there's not a legitimate poll of how people feel about the hospital,
which there
and
is
you
not.
Look at the country, and we are all divided. So you're for it, I'm against it. It's 50-50. But you look at the politicians; they're all for it.
I don't want to say good argument, because it's a bad argument. I'll tell you why. Because we were not 50-50 here. If you look at the numbers, upstate New York was not 50-50 in the presidential race. So we're not as
No, in the country.
The country, we got to apply it to Utica.
I had the privilege of being on the Long Range Planning Committee for years, and also on the recent review of the planning, the Long Range Plan that we presented to the Common Council this year as a final work that we did. And in that group of very well-intentioned and pretty well-informed from the standpoint of general public, the consensus was not that the hospital should go downtown, even though when it came out to the public, it appeared as if the group were. So I agree with all of us that we don't know for sure who wants it and who doesn't want it.
Yeah.
I would just, hope that we are cautious in moving forward. I would hope we don't just slam some urban renewal and level that area and then find that for 10 years there's no money to do a thing.
Well, that would be a terrible.
And so I think we should be cautious and slow down, because the money is not on trees. And if you're looking at the world economy and everything and all the grants we're waiting for, let's just be cautious.
I've always said we're one stock market crash away from having all this funding go away. So there is truth to that.
And it's being predicted.
At the end of the day, can we all agree on this? That everyone on both sides, their intentions are good. Everybody.
I love this town.
They come in with belief that they're going to make this a better place to live.
I even love people who disagree with me.
I know you do. Hey, you have to, Lynn. I mean, without those people, you wouldn't have gotten where you are today with everything you've done.
Really.
So,
It's
Brett,
all good. It's all good.
Same deal. We're all one thing in common. We want what's best for the area,
for the city,
even if we all somewhat disagree. Okay, good stuff.
Thing. Thanks for having us.
Again, you have meetings 3 days a week.
Yep.
And I see people out picketing, so there's organization.
Yep.
And you have a website, which is
nohospitaldowntown.com.
I just wanted you to be able to say
all
that.
Right.
So
Thanks. Thanks.
All right,
We're all
Brett
for good health care.
And Lynn, all
Thank
for
you
good
very
health
much,
care.
Bill.
All right,
Thank
got a
you,
break.
Bill.